Good evening, everyone. This is the Cop Talk preview Crystal Palace game, which is tomorrow. So, we must see a big improvement in performance. I'm expecting chalk and cheese as it was for last week. We're going to be intense, aggressive, high energy. I'm expecting more of the Community Shield performance tomorrow night. And I believe that Klopp has been drumming that into the players this week. Against Fulham, we just weren't good enough. And we cannot expect to get a result, win a game, if we don't perform to our levels. We have to be at it from the first minute. No sloppiness. We need big improvements from all the players, really. And I think we'll get it. I think we've got Keita back tomorrow. Harvey Elliott, Carvalho will be available. I'm not too sure what he's going to do in that midfield, but he needs to change it a little bit maybe. But I think it's going to be, I don't think he'll throw Harvey Elliott on from the beginning, but I think we probably will see Harvey Elliott and Carvalho at some point. But we just need to see more energy. We need to see more aggression. Palace will be aggressive. Palace will be, energetic. They will come to fight. They lost their first game, so they're not going to want. They're going to want something from tomorrow night, and we're going to have to match the fight. It's as simple as that. That's what the Premier League is. You have to fight, win that battle, and then the quality comes out. And I've no doubt in my mind that we will win tomorrow. It's a must-win game, though. We have to win. Anything other than a win is a disappointment, and it's going to be. It could be fatal to us this season. We can't afford to draw games. We have to win these games, and I really do think we will win tomorrow. The selection. Now, what do we think? I think Alisson, Trent, Robertson, Matip, Van Dijk. I think the midfield. I think Fabinho. I think Henderson, and I think he'll go with Keita. Although he could throw a curveball and put Elliott in from the start. Up front is the question. Is he going to start with Núñez? I really believe he will. I mean, the cameos that Núñez has had in the last two games, in the Community Shield and then against Fulham, the boy shows he's ready to be a starter. I know Firmino had a bad game, and I know a lot of people are calling for Firmino to be dropped, and even though I think Núñez should start, it's not because Firmino's no good anymore. He had a bad game, but there was a lot of players that had a bad game last week. And I think the dynamic of, because Firmino comes towards the ball. So against Fulham, I don't think we were playing well enough for him to receive the ball. Like, he likes to come back into the midfield and get the ball. Whereas Núñez was occupying their defenders. And by him coming on as a substitute, it changed the game. And it gave Fulham a totally different problem to solve. And they couldn't solve it. He was a handful. He was attracting the ball. He was right in the middle of the box. He was very, very dangerous, very impressive. And I actually thought we were going to win when he came on. So, yeah, I would expect him to start his home debut. I can't see him not starting him. But Klopp loves Firmino, so he could well start Firmino again and bring Núñez on again. I don't know. We'll definitely see Núñez though at some point. I think Diaz was a bit unlucky in that last game. He could have had a couple of goals. Fulham defended for their lives in certain situations, and he was a bit unlucky. Some crazy blocks. There was one where Núñez headed the ball down to him, and I don't know how the defender got there. And just in the first half as well, he was a bit unlucky. But he needs a good performance as well. You know, he was okay. He was our most dangerous player in that first half, and I'm expecting big things from him as well. I'm concerned about Trent. Trent was really poor last week, and I don't blame him for defensive stuff, but you know, he gave the ball away 2 or 3 times under no pressure, just sloppy, just casual behaviour. He can't do that tomorrow night. He's going to have Zaha and that Elise, I think his name is, that the other forward they've got, who's really dangerous. So, you know, we've got to be careful. Palace have got players that could hurt us if we're sloppy. But I just think, come on. We've got to win tomorrow night. We have to win. And I think we will. And, and just on the other thing about our midfield, I've heard a lot about, there's lots of rumours linking us to this midfielder, that midfielder. Klopp has already proven that if he can't get who he wants, he doesn't just go and buy anyone. And unless, the exception to that rule was when all our central defenders were injured and he went and brought in Kabak and Ben Davis. That was the exception to the rule. And he kind of got away with it because we still finished in the top 4 that year, but it wasn't ideal waiting till that last minute. And I would like to see us sign a midfielder. I really would. And there's a couple I think we could potentially sign. I think there's a lot of talk about Tielemans being up for sale for like 25 million. I think he's a steal. Premiership proven, Belgian international. He's got quality. He's 25, 26 years old. Fits our profile. I think he would come in and do a good job for Liverpool. We've got to think, we've got to realise Henderson is getting older. Milner, obviously, is in the twilight now, even though he's still super fit and still contributes heavily. We need to start looking at the next generation, just as we have with the forward line. We have to start looking at that midfield now. And I think Tielemans will be a good signing for not a lot of money. The other player I like the look of is Nunes from Sporting Lisbon. I think he would be a really good signing. I think we could get him for around 40 million. And he's, 23? Really good player. Really good. Strong, athletic midfielder. He has energy, aggression. He looks a real player. So, for me, those are my 2 shouts for midfield signings. Either one of those would be good, and I think we need to start doing it. Personally, look, I trust Klopp. He hasn't got much wrong since he's been at Liverpool, but I think we're going for everything again. I think adding a midfielder, just a quality midfielder, would not be a bad thing. I understand why he doesn't want to do it, because he's got 7, 8, 9 midfielders, which he said in his press conference. But if we look at those midfielders, they're kind of not. I don't think it's 7, 8, or 9, because you count Chamberlain, he's injured, and he's always injured, really. Thiago, another one who is difficult for him to stay fit. Curtis Jones, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know why he's even injured. I haven't heard anything about what's wrong with him. And that's 3. So now we're down to 6. Milner, 37. Henderson, 31, 32. Then you've got Carvalho. Is he really a midfielder? He's more of a front player, I would have thought. And Harvey Elliott. Bajcetic. He's a kid, 17. So for me, the midfield looks a little light, and maybe one more midfielder would be good. And obviously we've got Keita as well. And Keita's another one with fitness problems. So yes, we've got midfielders, but over almost half of our midfielders, there's question marks about keeping them fit. And then some of the others, although they do play games. Henderson played the most games last season out of all the midfielders. But he can get an injury, and Milner can pick up an injury. You know, I think we need a midfielder, I really do, and I'd love to see us bring one in. But listen, it's not up to me, it's up to Mr. Klopp. Hopefully he does something, but we have to trust him as well. So I would like a signing, but I'm not too sure. It doesn't look likely. Back to the game tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. First home game of the season. Unfortunately, I'm not going. I wish I was, but I'm not able to get up there this week, tomorrow night. But I'll be visiting Anfield soon, and let's see what happens tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the game, and I'll catch you all on the next show. Stay well.